Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of NewsED. I'm your host, Anthony Whitten. Today we're going to be talking about the issue of internet safety. That as the internet has become extremely popular over the last 10 years or so, the concern over students and the use of the internet in school has also become a huge concern. And that we've seen considerable software installed on schools in order to prevent for inappropriate things for students to either see or be exposed to. But as we look at those issues of the firewalls that are established, there are concerns over whether or not they're blocking too much as opposed to blocking just enough to keep our kids safe. And so today we'll be talking with a teacher who we'll look at the issue of internet safety in schools. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Freeman, for coming in and talking to NewsEd. As I understand, you've been a teacher for the last 5 years?
5 years, yes.
Awesome. And so today I want to talk about internet safety in schools. And I know that your school in particular, you have a firewall system that basically looks at the internet and monitors and filters what people are able to retrieve from school. What has been your experience with that filter?
Well, it's obviously intended to be a good thing, but most often it kind of handcuffs me in what I want to do. I'll give you a quick example. I used to teach government, and this was a couple of years back, and we were going over impeachment process. Mm-hmm. And so you type in Bill Clinton's name, and you can't get anything. So, and I had known this. I was doing this stuff at home, so we went to do an internet activity on the topic, and we go into the computer lab, and no one can do anything, and all of a sudden you're standing there in 90-minute blocks, and you're kind of trapped into what you want to do. So that's an example of a bad thing. And another thing I find more often than not is what happens is we old folks try to get online, and we know how to do that and can basically get that far, but these kids are so cutting edge that when they put these blocks on, it's us going to be handcuffed by stuff because they know things about like proxy servers, and which I don't even know what that means, but I hear them say it. So when we try to go online, we may get blocked for certain things. When they can bounce their signal off satellite, I don't know what they do, but they get out of the firewall somehow. So no matter how fast what the county can get to afford money funneled in to buy a system, within a couple of years the kids are around it, and more often than not it's us that kind of get handcuffed on things like that, or anything in ancient China, or anything. We just recently did Tale of the Genji, and that's kind of a darker story as well. It kind of has some adult themes in it, but then all of a sudden, boom, can't find it. So I've often found that it kind of hurts. It obviously does the good things that it should do, but sometimes it goes further, and I don't know how to find that happy medium.
Okay. So you talked about being unable to get through the proxy server to get to sites like YouTube. Have you found anything to basically circumvent that, or at least some other resources available to you to get the clips that you need?
Well, there is TeacherTube, which is a nice resource where you can actually go, and it's kind of a way of almost double checking so that you can see. There's a site that's predetermined done by a teacher, which is nice, who's obviously having the same problems we are, where this stuff is guaranteed okay. It's not like a random keyword pops up and gets you. This stuff has been seen, it's okay, it's cleared, and it'll make it through. So if there were more things like that, or if there was a way to make our servers aware of better search engines or things that have been pre-cleared like that, then that's definitely another option.
And how have you found other streaming video sites? I know that there's United Streaming as well as also Safari Montage.
Those are great, but then again, those are also depending on what your county's paying for, because a lot of those are pay services where the same thing has happened. These things are determined to be okay, so the school will let all that information in, which is good, but it also limits you, because in the world of YouTube or the world of the internet, it could be, you could search any topic and you'll find something. But then again, you don't know how clean it is, who created it, or anything like that. So the United Streamings and things like that are great, but again, the county has to pay into them. It's not something you can just go out on your own and freelance.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So as we look at the important issue of internet safety in school, there are a number of different issues to consider. It seems as though right now that the consensus is that we're probably doing a little bit too much to strain out freedom of thought, as well as also valuable educational tools and pieces of information for our students. And so it'd be important for us to think about, and as well as to check to see what resources we can use to find a better system of streaming, especially if we find that students are getting around these systems that we're creating, and that they are so much more advanced than the teachers who are basically being hindered by the tools that are being put in place.